feel like
just
the people,
continue with the story that they have.
Yeah, I feel like the people could give us a good story who's in the saga now. Not want to see it, but it just seems very like the easy way out.
Avengers, Star Wars, Disney, same family. Hey, never know.
That's true. I mean, so many sagas are just coming to an end.
Yeah.
Like, it's not sad. It's just like that nostalgia from like the past. It's like you don't want it to end, but you know it has to, because you can't let it drag on. It won't age properly if you do.
I agree.
So.
Okay. So we got Star Wars trailer out of the way, and we got.
I know another one we could talk about. Lion King. Because it came out after our show.
We talked about it. No,
it came out it came out that next day, that Monday. I remember because I was going to class, and that's when we was texting.
It did actually. We never touched on it. The new Lion King trailer that came out.
Because they gave us a teaser on Thanksgiving.
Right.
We got the full blown trailer.
So we got the full blown trailer. We got everybody. Timon and Pumbaa, Scar, everybody.
We saw Nala and Simba together. We saw the hyenas.
The hyenas to me were the most impressive out of everybody.
They were very scary.
Yeah,
very
I ain't gonna lie. I'm looking forward to their role.
Zazu.
Zazu looked good.
Zazu.
What's his name? Rafiki looked good.
Rafiki looked great. He looked great in the teaser.
Yeah, in the trailer, in the teaser, he looked really good. Here, he looks amazing. They got the close up.
Dr. Sabi.
Yeah. He is Dr. Sabi of the Pride Lands. That's actually a good analogy.
Thank you.
He actually is the Dr. Sebi of the Pride Lands.
It looks so good. And honestly, my favorite part of the whole trailer was the end, where you saw Timon and Pumbaa singing. Like, it was the silliest part, but like, I don't know, it was my favorite.
It's gonna be my favorite time of the movie when they finally put them on screen.
Facts. Do you think they're gonna do all the songs?
They have to.
I know. I just feel like, cause like I have songs I'm looking forward to, but I feel like they're gonna play me like I can't wait to be king.
They have to play.
If they don't do that,
they're gonna have new songs.
If they play one single new song, I'm walking out of the movie.
I'll be tight. I'll be low-key tight.
One single
new. You take away the complete experience.
Look, it won't be right unless Beyonce remixes the song.
I'm for sure gonna walk out the.
I think she's smart enough not to do that. Yeah. I think she'll know people will be tight.
Credible enough to do that. Thank you.
People would be upset.
Sorry, we're talking too well. Some Beyonce haters.
I love Beyonce.
Love Beyonce.
But I think she
don't touch a classic though.
Same way
my classic,
they are touching the classic. They remaking the movie, and now they need new songs.
Well, when I say touch the classic, I mean changing things that was working.
Change is good.
Yeah, but change is also bad.
No.
Yeah.
Change is always good.
Change is not always good.
That
sounds like a topic that we about to segue into.
Progression and truth and change.
Well, progression is not the same thing as change, though. You could change
change, it continues.
You can change for the worse. I've seen a lot of people change for the worse.
When you change for the worse, it's the only way you know how to get better.
Right, but there's two sides of change, just like there's two sides to a coin.
Depending on what side you're looking at.
I'm going to look at that reality.
Either you're looking at the bird on one side of the coin, or you're looking at the head on the other side of the coin. Two different sides. Same piece of change.
You ever hear somebody say mad stuff and say nothing at all? That happens to me sometimes, too.
You know who's the master of that, other than me?
No, I do that a lot. I be saying a lot, and I just be like, yo, what did I just say?
The master of that? What's that guy that be on YouTube all the time? Ty Lopez. Oh, God.
Yo, it's crazy that you say that. Oh, boy. An ad came on his thing, and he just started going off. I watched it for 4 minutes, and I'm like, bro, he hasn't said one thing. He hasn't said
one thing.
Not one thing.
Like, I see his stuff all the time. This is like a year ago. I see his stuff all the time, and I don't get caught up in the ads and, oh, you want to make some money. But I've been hearing his name circulating, and he said, it was something where he was just like, I was like, I'm going to give him one shot. He was like, the 5 reasons I use to change my life are in this 5 secrets I'm going to give you. He kept repeating that, going off into stories and everything. He said, but these are the 5 principles that I live by that will change your life. Next thing you know, I was watching that man for 2 hours on that same ad.
Ain't got nothing.
Nothing. I would never do it again. I would never do it again.
Yeah, he got me one time.
I give him the crowd for that one.
Yeah, he got me one time.
To keep my attention.
That's a talent in itself. To keep your attention and not say nothing at all. Yeah. I mean, that's the
one guy that does talk. It says a lot in every sentence. Gary V.
Oh, without question, Gary V is the OG when it comes down to giving information.
It's all about giving. That's what Nipsey did.
Speaking about Nipsey, man, congratulations to Nipsey and his family. They officially renamed Crenshaw and Slauson. I said Crenshaw, and Slauson. To Nipsey Hussle Square. I think that's amazing. It happened really quickly, as it should have.
No, people was pushing it.
Yep, as it should have. As it should have. Another part of that story I didn't like though. The guy that got shot with him was arrested. He was arrested by the LAPD for associating with a known gang member, and they clearly are considering Nipsey a gang member after all the beautiful things they said about him after his untimely demise.
Well, let's break it down. Hopefully I break this down correctly. I'm sorry, y'all. But I think I had the story pretty much right. He went to jail initially for affiliation with gang members.
No. I'm asking. You mean after he was shot?
No. His friend, because he came out of jail. That's.
I don't know what he went to jail for originally. I don't know what he was coming out for. I don't know what.
But his probation, when he got out, he was supposed to be associating with any kind of gang members. So they consider Nipsey a gang member because he is a crip, right? We all know they were together. Nipsey wanted to get him straight. He was like, come to my store. He was going to get him things, help him out, basically. And, situation went down. And since he was associating with Nipsey, they bring him back to jail. When really, Nipsey was just trying to help out his friend who just got out of jail. And I feel like that's so corny because it's like, it just shows how much you can't even get back on your feet in the smallest ways. Out of pure love, out of a friend, a family member, without them, I don't want to sound
demonizing.
Like
that's what it sounds
Black
like.
Panthers, but like they don't want to see you win. They don't want to see you up.
I think they should have like the top gang members working with the police, or have somebody in there to help make those decisions. Because it's like, if the person like over there, like game, like being in a gang or from a set is from where you from. So you telling me this guy comes home with no job, no nothing, and this is where he's from, and now he can't stay here? If he stays there, technically to y'all, he's gangbanging because he's there. This is his home. But if he's really not on no rah-rah stuff, and y'all arrest him, I can see if he got caught up doing something. Exactly. He got shot. He wasn't shooting nobody.
Exactly.
But people, when people who don't matter say it's all due to gangbanging and all that, which technically it really is, but it's all people that don't matter. The people that matter, the people that Nipsey cared about, they know what's what. And they know what he stood for. And that's what matters. Like you said, if I died yesterday, my life would be a win.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I just think it sends a bad message, though.
It does.
To everybody that is in that community, who have family members and friends that they care for that's either felons, ex-cons. You know what I'm saying? Like, that whole probation system, that whole situation, I think is a trap. I think it's entrapment. I think it's used to keep black men in jail. That's a whole nother topic in itself. I mean, we could talk about that another time. I think they need to do away with probation, period.
Yeah, you're right. It's a trap. But the next question is, well, not the question, the statement is, you set up a trap for us, but you don't set up opportunities for us to do better.
Exactly.
That's how it becomes a trap. You give the prey no other option.
you know, the prison system is a big business, and
I mean, the only,
you know what type of country we live in.
I mean, the only opportunity that his friend was given was from someone within his own neighborhood. It wasn't even from the police or anybody else.
It doesn't even matter if the dude never knew Nipsey, or the dude saved his life. No matter what walk of life he was, even Nipsey enemies respected him, what he was doing.
It's a fact. But it just shows, like, we have to actually be our own heroes in this kind of way, because it's like, there's no bright side if you leave it up to, you know, people in power.
Yeah, I think, you know, like somebody had mentioned on Twitter, just a regular person, they said, you know, there's a lot of Nipseys in our neighborhood and we don't give them enough attention. And I agree with that. I think, you know, there's other my son is another one in New York that really does a lot of great work for the community. We gotta tap into our communities more, man. We gotta have more community outreach programs. We gotta have more mentorship programs for the youth. You know what I mean? And try to get a control over our kids now. And I think that's something Nipsey was doing out there in his community. He had a good hand on the community, the youth. They had hope. They had respect for Nipsey. And that's what we need to champion out here. Facts. All the other stuff is nonsense, man. All the other stuff is nonsense, but...
Facts. I want to talk about something more beautiful, though, about that memorial.
It was beautiful. I ain't gonna lie. I teared up. It was amazing.
Memorial,
one of the best I've ever seen.
Amazing. Visually, the words people said, all together, it was just great.
It felt amazing and relatable to me. Like, seeing people cursing, not to say that the cursing necessarily good. I'm not championing it. I'm just saying, just see the raw emotion and them not holding back. I love that. I'm like, this is one of the most authentic celebrations I've ever seen. You know, like, everybody just didn't hold back. They gave their whole heart, and I think Nipsey would have appreciated that, man.
And I felt like the people who was talking was really talking. Like, I even like when Snoop Dogg got up on there and was talking, because he was talking just like how he would talk to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was dope. It was dope. You never really see Snoop Dogg really, you know, set tripping and stuff like that, but he always did it when he was around Nip. So that was dope. You know?
That's right.
His brother, Black Sam, man.
Black Sam, the truth.
Real.
Black Sam, the
I feel like the world was waiting. I know I was waiting to hear him, because I know nobody was closer to him than him.
Black Sam, man. That's somebody that I really want to see the industry continue to champion. I want to see them continue to work with Black Sam. Like, Sam is the truth, man.
Sam is the truth. Instagram or something? I haven't seen it.
I don't know if he does.
Like,
I don't have
man, I want to see him take that and keep it pushing.
Word. I'm championing Black Sam, man. Like, I really want him to succeed and continue what Nipsey was doing in that community. And I know he will. I know he will. I know he's not going to let all his brother's efforts in vain. As a matter of fact, I seen an interview with Nipsey, and it was Black Sam that was really trying to push Nipsey to kind of continue to the clothing store that they had, because there was a point in time when they lost the spot in that same vicinity. His brother had went to jail for a few years, and Nipsey said when he got out, Nipsey said they was doing so good with the music, he wasn't sure if he wanted to go back to that same spot, but it was Sam that pushed him to maintain their presence in that area. And Nipsey always felt like Black Sam was a huge inspiration for that. So I feel like Sam is going to continue to push it. I think he's going to continue to push Nipsey's legacy.
Still open.
Black Sam was definitely the thought process behind the Marathon store and everything like that. You know, but you know, Nip just learned from him. You know, Black Sam was the hustler. Nip just learned from him and took it to the heights.
Yep.
But everything Nip did, he always had the same 4 or 5 people around him, you know? So that's why, and that's one thing I liked about Nip, is that every interview, he never said, I. He said, we as a team. All money in, we the team. It's not just me. I love that about him, you know?
Facts.
One thing I was looking into, because when, I don't know if it was before or after, but around the time of Memorial, people They was trying to sell stuff like shirts and all that stuff and nip on it or whatever. And some of the, you know, I don't know if it was Bloods and Crips, but I think I saw the Crips. They was, you know, they was just snatching it up. Like, they was like, no, you're not gonna sell this, because you just like never know people's intentions. Like, people will try to make profit over his death, and it's like, that's not cool. The only people who should be selling stuff and making profit is the family, so because they know where the money should go. For the right reasons. Even if people was doing it for the right reasons, you just never know, and you should never, you know, have this like expectation like, oh, okay, I can do this. It's more of like respect. So I agree with them. They should have just took all those clothes that people was trying to sell and just grab it, throw it out, whatever, because you shouldn't be trying to make profit for the wrong reasons over something like that, especially at their memorial. That's mad disrespectful.
Word. And rest in peace to Fats too, because Fats was a big part of that store opening up. He was their partner.
I know they was supposed to open up a barbershop in his name. I don't know if it's open yet.
I think they're still working on
hopefully
it.
I get to go to LA this summer and check it out.
And download the Marathon store app. They got an application on your phone, so whenever you visit the store in LA, pull out the app, point it to any merchandise that's in the store, and videos will pull up and play. And it'll give you an immersive experience while you're at the store. So if you in the LA area, and you head into the Marathon clothing store, download the app, man. It'll be a dope experience. I just noticed they had an app a couple days ago. I didn't know.
Yeah, he talked about, I think sometime end of last year, he was saying, he's the first digital store out there.
Yeah, I liked it.
It was the first digital, I forgot the exact word he said, first digital store out there. Which is dope. Like I said, he was always up ahead of the curve.
Now these upper class stores gonna try to do the same job. It's like,
for sure.
Y'all ain't original at all.
For sure. Nipsey was always had his fingers on the pulse when it came down to technology too.
Everybody's gonna know where it originally came from, though. Everybody's gonna know where it started, so it don't even matter.
All day. But you know what's so funny though? It's not really funny, but it's inspirational, I say. You know, I was watching videos on Twitter of his family in traffic when they was in the Rolls Royces. I don't know if they was coming from the service or going to the service, but his mom's was in the car, blasting his music, singing and rapping, rolling down the window, rapping with the crowd. His daughter was rapping with her window down, rapping to the crowd. It felt so authentic. The whole experience, man. The whole experience. It felt authentic. That type of love is rare.
Right.
It's very rare. We see people go all the time, unfortunately, but
I tell people all the time. I mean, some people might think it different, but that was like to me, I felt like, I mean, I've never lived through that time, so man, that was like Martin Luther King right there. To me.
To most.
If you think about it, Martin Luther King, I don't know the whole details of everything he done, but as far as I know, he tried to bring, two races together, or empower black people to bring them together. Nipsey was trying to empower black people, all races, and all sets of gangs, and bring them together, and was actually doing stuff, and actually building stuff. I don't know if Martin Luther King built stuff, I don't know that. But I know we've never seen nothing like Nipsey. But there are people like Nipsey out there. There's other famous people. There's people that we don't know about that's doing things like Nipsey. But to be from Southern Cal doing that, they've never seen that before.
Yeah, that community lost a good one, man. And I agree with you. Martin Luther King and Nipsey's struggles were very similar in the sense that there was a lot of segregation in their in the community at the time. Nipsey was more gang related. There was a lot of segregation as far as gang violence and things like that he wanted to end, or at least have a helping hand in put into an end. And he was making progress. I mean, even before his death, you seen peace in the hood. And after his death, it was on steroids. You know, everybody came together in a beautiful way. But once again, man, rest in peace, Nipsey.
Facts.
Let's get into some.
Oh, good. Sorry.
No, you know what? Let's get into our discussion because we never got into our discussion.
I'm nervous of what you're talking about because you seem very passionate right
The
now.
discussion that we was talking about for the past 2 weeks. Who's more accessible to take pain? You want to hold it?
I'm gonna hold it.
You want to hold it? All right, we're gonna hold it.
Accessible to take pain?
No.
I didn't finish the sentence. She wants to hold it.
We gonna hold that.
Who can handle pain better than a woman?
We gonna talk about it. Trust me. But it won't be. It's not gonna be today.
So the topic is, and we'll talk about it another time. Who can handle pain better, men or women?
Right.
So we're gonna have a good conversation, and I think we should have more women up here. I think maybe 2 other women, just to kind of even it out.
We can do one because we can handle it, even if we're not outnumbered.
Yeah, it's an easy discussion in my opinion, but.
But I was gonna talk about like a topic that I don't think we touched on last week, but it was pretty fresh last week. How rap and country came together with that new song with Billy Ray Cyrus and which is crazy.
Lil Nas X.
Lil Nas.
Listen, it's not the first time that we've heard country and rap together.
It's not.
When did this come out?
It just came out.
You didn't hear it? I wish you could.
Old Town Road.
Nipsey.
Old Town Road.
I've been bumping Nipsey.
But if you have, first of all, if you have a social media, you've heard this song because everybody's made a video with this song or at least it's been on your timeline.
Facts.
Flooded.
Like once you hear it, you'll be like, oh, I might have heard that.
I follow certain people.
Oh.
But yeah, no, we've had not Nelly and Tim McGraw, I think his name is. I don't know.
He sounds familiar.
Or
not Nelly.
That,
I know who Nelly is.
What's that? The 2 white guys with Nelly.
2 white guys.
2 white guys with Nelly.
Yeah, they're real big. They're really big.
I'm so sure. Are they're a country group or something?
Yeah, man. Hold on.
Well, the point is we've never really taken control over country music. We invented country music.
Low-key.
We've allowed them to mainstream that genre, but we've created that. So them trying to take it off. See, the thing is, hip hop is now the most popular genre of music. It is pop at this point, right? You see genres pulling their sounds from hip hop. Country music uses 808s on their music. So if you're using 808s, and hip hop is pretty much 808s in this generation, then you cannot say that Lil Nas is not considered country music. So them removing it, and then I don't know if they added it back, but I'm pretty sure
that's what it is. Florida Georgia Line, dope group with Nelly, and they sung that song Cruise. Y'all remember it?
I don't know if I heard. I mean, maybe if I hear it, I'll be like, oh, okay, but
say no more.
Oh, okay. But no, I never. I think the song was dope. It's catchy, you know. I think
once you hear the song, you'll be like, oh, okay. Like it was like a smash hit, like
radio
smash hit. Like they play this.
I'm not sure, but.
I ain't gonna hold you.
I've never heard it.
Nah.
It's never heard this?
Nope. And it's definitely not better than Lil Nas and Billy Ray Cyrus.
No. You research about the song. You research about the song, man.
He don't know.
Hold on.
Billy Ray was snapping.
Down and cruise.
Nah.
I know you heard of the 2 guys.
This is that joy.
I could tell. You enjoying it. Never heard of it.
Hold on, that's my part. Hold on.
But so what other topics do you guys want to touch on as far as like sports and stuff?
I mean,
anything new?
Magic Johnson.
Yo, let's touch on that because he's having a rough week. He's having a rough
down
week.
because Illuminati took over the Lakers and he said, "I'm not with it."
Oh, was that the backstory?
Nah.
I think the Lakers wish the Illuminati would take them over. That's what they need to save them. Yeah, that's what they need.
That's hurtful.
Hey, look, what else?
Does Magic Johnson still got HIV?
Wow.
That's a great question. I have no idea.
That was.
I don't think he does.
That was big shift.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. Good question.
Huh.
Pretty sure that didn't have anything to do with him stepping down.
Yeah.
No.
Has he said why he stepped down? I know he said, he just...
He had a whole press conference for it.
He just don't... Other than him crying in front of the camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, he talked about it again?
Mm-hmm.
He just said...
No, but he said it in the same interview.
But mostly was it because he said he wasn't happy?
That's pretty much the gist of it. He didn't like how he had less freedom to move around. He couldn't even tweet out congratulations to players because they consider that tampering under the new tampering rules. So he just didn't like it. He wanted to be more free and be Magic Johnson, the ambassador. Pretty much.
I don't even know why he put himself in that position.
It's a great position. To be honest with you, I think Kobe would be better as the president than Magic because Kobe's, one, his work ethic is better.
Oh, God. You can't say that.
Of course you can.
You don't know that. You don't know what he doing, what he did or what he used to do.
What are you talking about? Kobe?
Yeah.
We all seen what Kobe did. We all seen his dedication.
I don't know.
No, Magic is a dedicated player, but we've seen Magic pick something up and quit when it got bad. We've seen Magic do that. Again, we've seen Magic quit the talk show hosting when he was doing that. We've seen him quit coaching the Lakers in the '96.
Damn near $1 billion in your bank account. A lot of stuff you don't have to. You just don't have to deal with stuff.
You know what's really
Have to deal with stuff.
But I mean, $1 billion is relative because to us that's a lot of money.
Once it starts feeling like work, you're not gonna want to do it.
But $1 billion, like I said, is relative. It's like we think that's a lot of money, but it's really not to certain circles.
Me.
I literally just said to us, it's a lot of money, but to certain circles, it's not a lot of money anymore in this market. I mean, why do you think people like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates still work so hard?
I start sweating when there's 700 on the table.
It's the Nike tech.
No, go ahead.
It's the Nike tech.
Right.
But nah, you're right. I mean, so what did you want to talk about as far as Magic? Would you have any thoughts on it? Oh, it sounds like you got a lot of thoughts on it.
Why she working LeBron somehow?
I think part of it was the lady Jeannie Buss.
Mm-hmm.
I think part of it was that. I think Magic is too much of a class act to admit it. This is just my opinion. I think part of it was, and it could be intentional or it could have been unintentional. But I think part of it was LeBron too, because of that whole aura with him, that he brings. Everywhere he's been, he's brought that. So I think that was part of it too.
Yeah. You think he's gonna land another executive position in the future, or is he done completely?
Who? Magic?
Magic. Yeah.
Oh no, I think he's done completely.
Yeah. I like to
he what he said, he didn't show like that. You know what I'm saying? Like takes away from, I guess, his personality, like who he wants to be. Like
I think he's gonna try to own a team.
You think LeBron
I can see
will do
that.
that one day?
LeBron's for sure going to be an owner at some point, for sure. I think he's trying to build relationships in the executive office as we speak. I think that's the reason why he moved to LA.
He's saving all that Nike money for.
You think that's the only reason why he moved to LA?
No, I mean he has aspirations in Hollywood and things like that, and his son is playing high school basketball, so he wants to be around great competition. So there's many reasons. It's more reasons outside of the Lakers organization. I'm gonna tell you that.
Right.
I don't think his focus is heavy on the Lakers right now.
True, and his school.
And his I Promise school, yeah. Which is fine. I mean, he's in year 16. LeBron is guaranteed top 5 all time.
His I Promise school is in Cleveland.
What happened?
His Promise school is in Cleveland.
Yeah, but he still has to have a focus on that, a level of focus, because he's on the board. So he has to have a level of focus.
I thought he was extending it.
What?
His school to different.
In LA?
At some point.
Oh, he is?
At some point, he said he wanted to. Yeah, he wanted to. But, I mean, it's only the first year the school's opening, so.
True.
He has a lot on his plate, I think they're going to make the playoffs next year unless they get a really top-notch athlete or free agent in this upcoming free agency. I don't see them going far. I don't see them. I don't see them.
LeBron going to the finals.
At some point. I hope so.
You heard it here first.
Oh my God.
Man, I know we don't have Day here today, but I know he will be going off about his Brooklyn's game.
Shout out to the Nets.
Shout out to the Nets. Didn't they win?
I was just about to say, Nate sound like Dave talking about the Nets going to the finals. He sounds just like him.
No one was expecting the Nets to win the other night, and they did.
Nah, I didn't say they wouldn't win. I said they wouldn't win the entire series.
No, nobody expecting them to pass this round.
Facts. That's
I still don't.
But they had it fun.
I still don't, and I hope they do.
It's gonna come down to a game 7. D'Angelo's gonna hit the last shot.
I think Philly gonna come and torch him. I think Philly gonna come out and go crazy on him.
Philly not built like that.
They're gonna take him on their own court.
Oh, that'd
be crazy if
they're gonna crush him.
Because I mean they did it on their court, so
Man.
Shout out to
it's not.
You said man.
It's not surprising.
Oh yeah, Derrick Rose.
It's not surprising. I already told you, Rob.
Did Derrick Rose officially get traded to the Knicks again?
No, you're going off an old video.
Oh, that video was mad.
That's old. Okay,
yeah, that's when he first got traded to the Knicks.
I was about to say, dang.
I just didn't like the fact that he was crying about
that man dirt. Cause you understand.
But hold on, he wasn't. I saw. Okay, so we was in a group chat, right? And they're trying to say the Knicks are a legend graveyard. That wasn't why he was crying.
No. I'm not even bringing that up. First of all, the statement is the Knicks are NBA graveyard for up and coming legends and past legends. They come there to retire, and I'll say that the points of that in a little bit. But what I'm saying is, the reason why D Rose was crying, because you gotta understand, this kid is playing. He's from Chicago. He's been playing there all his life, and to get drafted by Chicago and be the star of the team,
win an MVP.
One of the greatest players to ever play in that arena.
Only him and Michael Jordan have an MVP for Chicago.
Exactly.
That's huge.
That's big, and just to be traded without even be told nothing or nothing, just because he got injured.
That's tough.
And then when I seen that video, I'm thinking, dang, they did it to him again.
That's tough.
But you say it's false news though.
Yeah, it's just old. That was an old one. But I mean, he said he was in awe, so I'm taking that and running with it.
He loved New York. When he first came to New York, he said, "I wanted to retire."
I love how he filmed himself though. Imagine how many people are filming themselves right now. We just haven't seen the content.
A lot.
I know.
A lot. You know who's ahead of that right now? Uninterrupted. They're following a lot of players.
Who started that longest
for documentaries?
That I haven't seen nobody do. People doing it now, but people who've been doing it back in the day, like Dame Dash. Dame Dash been doing it for a minute.
Shout out to Choke No Joke. Choke No Joke is the cameraman for Rockefeller back in the whole Rockefeller movement. Choke No Joke has put out books. He's put out so many dope videos. One of the most legendary videos Choke put out was what was The End of the Rock, I believe, or The Last Days of the Rock. He recorded Dame, the famous video with Dame going off on all the Def Jam executives. That's Choke. You know, so shout out to Choke No Joke.
And I love how he's a great storyteller, but I appreciate the fact that he actually like broke down what kind of was going on at those times, because all we heard was from Dame kind of, and Dame be lying. Now I know like Dame is like one of my people I look up to in business, but some of the stuff I seen him do and heard that he did really goes against like stuff he be talking about. But I mean, I understand we elevate as men and we learn from our mistakes. But you know, but I really want to see Jay's side. I want to see Jay's side of things. But Choke No Joke actually kind of let us know where Jay kind of stood at certain points of the career, which made sense. It didn't look like Dame. It just made it seem like Jay-Z just did me dirty. But really, Jay said, you know what, I had enough of your foolishness. Now I'm setting myself up before we crash.
And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I think the biggest issue was I feel that Dame just felt like he didn't have enough communication from Jay. He felt like Jay was moving in ways that was snake-like. That was his whole big thing with the Def Jam situation. He felt like people were going behind his back to work with Jay when, I'm not gonna say this is true, but allegedly Jay was planning meetings behind Dame's back for himself.
Oh, okay.
So he was working with Def Jam without Dame.
But did you hear Chono Joke talking about it? Like talking about like what happened and stuff like that?
I might have.
Like he was saying like how Dame was really like there was three owners, you know, it was Biggs, Jay, and Dame. Mm-hmm. And Dame was going around like they'll make profit, and then he'll just start spending money. I'm talking about buying jets for everybody, you know, making everything look really good in the public eye. Even when he didn't have to, he would just order a jet just for everybody just to go somewhere where, you know, they really could have just did commercial flights. Mm-hmm. And, you know, let's say it's $1 million profit, and he spent $500,000. Now you got to split $500,000 3 ways. So it's like, that's bad business. That's bad business. And he had to say so. No one could tell him no. Because he was part owner. Mm-hmm. So it got to the point where Jay had to separate it and make him, first he legalized, he put it in like a contract where he can't spend money unless Jay says yay. So it got to that. Then Dame started doing sneaky stuff like recording him and stuff like that, and like he was talking about like there was a video where Dame wanted him in, Jay was in there, but Jay wasn't rocking with Dame, and he'll tell just like y'all heard the story how he got like how Cho got like hit in the Manhattan Center.
And that's when
like so Jay was on stage and Jay was on stage and Dame told Choke to go in there and record him, and then he went in there with the camera. I guess like Tata came up to him and was like, nah, don't record Jay or something like that. So Choke, he was still in there recording him, and at the end of the show, Tata came up to him and was like, yo, give me the tape. And then next thing you know, he had like he was like 3 dudes came up on him, jumped him real quick, took the tape and everything. There's a whole long story about that, but just off of those instances, that he was like, Dame would make him do stuff like that, and Jay wasn't rocking with him like way back in the day, like way even before like was the Fiesta joint. He wasn't rocking with him then. He wasn't rocking with him way long time ago. And that just let me think, like, dang. This whole time I'm thinking, like, dang, is Jay really, like, was he really the problem? But then now I hear stuff coming out from him. It's like, nah, Dame was the problem.
There's 2 sides to every story.
Yeah.
Everybody got their side. What's your thoughts on that,
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just unclear about it, man. There's just a lot of stuff going on with that thing at that time. And from things that I heard, that Jay would, I guess he wasn't too happy with Dame Dash, where he was signing some dudes from Harlem and whatnot. So.
Oh yeah,
Dipset. Yeah, his thing was just like he just came in.
That came way after. They been not liked each other before that. And then when Jay started realizing what he was doing, spending money and being disrespectful to employees and stuff like that, he started separating himself. And then when he started separating himself, why he signed Dipset? He signed Dipset because he knew Jay came out with a song. I forgot the name of it, but he was talking about leaving the rock. Mm-hmm. And Choke was trying. He was the first person to tell Dame, like, look, he's about to leave. And Dame was like, nah, he ain't about to leave. That's when, like, the next week or something, that's when that interview, when they was having that conference without Dame, with Dame bust in there, that was because of that, because he heard that. And that's why Dame signed Dipset, so that he can hold the rock up, because he can hold the rock up without Jay. or show that he could do it himself. That's that whole battle came from.
I mean, Jay addressed it in
Because if you think about it, Jay had no reason to be beefing with Dipset other than they knew their purpose to come in and take over.
Nah, Jay had a reason because when Cameron was releasing a song and Kanye gave it away to Jay, Cam had words for Jay and Jay responded. So even outside of the situation with Dame, there was other situations happening within Dipset that was causing conflict in Rockefeller. According to multiple people at the time, Cam himself has said it. But Jay, he addressed that situation with Dame in this song "Lost Ones" on Kingdom Come album. He told him, he said, I heard all them saying they made Hov say, okay, so make another Hov. He been felt like Dame wanted to replace him or felt like he could replace him, and Jay, he didn't seem fazed by it. He was like, well, try it. And history speaks for itself.
I forgot what song it was. There was a song directly towards that situation, right before he separated himself and left. But y'all look up, like, I promise you, it's a treat, man. If y'all just, where I hear his stuff, he was on, what's that dude podcast?
He's done video. He's done interviews. He was promoting his book. I remember he was talking about it.
On this white guy, it was, what was it? Not Pew. What's his name? White guy.
On YouTube?
I find it. It's on my SoundCloud.
So, you think the Lakers got a chance to take Jerry West from the Clippers?
Wow. So, no, I'm not sure. I would say I wouldn't think so. You never know. It's like his situation now is, come on, his situation is good. They traded some dudes away to open up cap space, and me, just like almost everybody else, I thought that was just okay. That's the tank or whatever. They're gonna go into the lottery, and they're gonna open up the cap space for free agents. But these dudes still made the playoffs. So my thing is like, okay, you still made the playoffs, got the cap space or whatever. Why would you leave that situation right there to go to the Lakers and they a mess? So I mean, I don't know, and still the whole thing with the way that he left with the Lakers or whatever. I don't know if he's the type, like the whole grudges, or if he want to stay there to prove a point or whatever. But I don't know. I really don't know, but I don't see it. I think he's gonna stay with the Clippers. I don't think he's gonna go back to the Lakers.
I think it'd be in their best interest, man, to find somebody that has a proven track record and not just somebody that's associated with the Lakers. Why the Lakers keep hiring people that was associated with them? Why they don't ever go outside of their family? Even from hiring Byron Scott, the last hire I can remember that has no association to the Lakers was Mike Brown, the head coach. Outside of that, everybody's been with the Lakers.
People do that all the time, though. They never go out their comfort zone.
Oh yeah, let's pause that real quick. Back to the Choke No Joke thing. I listened to it on Premium Pete podcast, and he explains like the whole situation thoroughly. So check that out on SoundCloud. Anyway, yeah.
Okay. But yeah.
When
Shout out to Tiger Woods too, by the way. He won his fifth Masters.
Hold on.
Tiger
He won?
Yeah.
Stop it.
Shout out to Tiger for getting the
Tiger. You lying. You lying. There's no way. You're lying.
Tiger's back. Shout out to Tiger, man.
He won today?
Tiger's back.
You might want to check your social media. He won that green jacket today, baby.
He said, and you know what he said? He said, oh, it fits. He said it fits. Of course it fits. Who else was it gonna fit? Nobody wanted.
That's one less at the Masters dinner, baby. And they're having 22-ounce ribeye steaks.
Sounds good. I ain't eating none of this. So
whoever wins gets to decide the dinner for the next year's Masters. And whoever won last year, said they wanted 22-ounce steaks with all the sides and fixings. And only master people can come there. No media, no nothing. Just people with green jackets. That's it. So Tiger's got like a couple seats.
Tiger's got 5.
He got
a whole bench to himself.
Wow.
Shout out to Tiger.
I'm so surprised because he was like 10th place last time I checked.
No, this is the comeback, the biggest comeback in my opinion in a long time.
Wow.
Tiger came out here. One of the biggest comebacks I've seen in a long time. Shout out to Tiger, man. We're proud of you in our community.
He did it like it was light work. Like
Facts.
He came back like,
turned back the clock.
I left.
Where'd I go? Where'd I left off?
Oh, I wanted to speak about. I don't know if you saw. You said you saw some of it of Childish Gambino's Guava. Was it Guava Island?
Guava Island. I seen one scene. That was it.
One scene. So Childish is coming out with the album.
That was the scene that I saw. Okay.
Yeah, he's coming out with an album. I thought it was dope. He pretty much made a movie and he played. We knew like some of the songs. Well, I think not one or two, and then the rest of it. We never heard of it yet.
Well, I knew
but he
3.
previewed it. You knew about it.
I knew 3.
Oh, you knew 3.
Because he came out with 3.
Which one?
I don't know the names, but it was the summertime. And
So wait, the songs that he came out with last summer was for this movie?
They're going to be on the album.
it's called Double
Which is
Money.
why I think they were in it.
Oh, that's gonna be fire. I love that.
They probably made it off of the songs he made. He said, it's a wave. Let's hop on it.
I think it was dope.
I hope this is not the. I hope it's not the music that she was talking about. She's releasing. Rihanna.
Oh,
Rihanna
God.
didn't have music. Did she?
Oh, she's not working on an album with him?
With him? I'm not sure. I didn't hear. She didn't do no music in the movie.
Oh,
Or,
okay.
promote anything in
Yeah, I
it.
think Rihanna has good albums.
Absolutely.
Bro, Rihanna has classic albums.
Wow.
Yes. Wow.
What?
That sounds like some hate.
I'm about to say because Rihanna got at least 3 or 4 hits.
I say, okay, hits, but albums. 2 different conversations.
All right, but what I'm saying is she has classic albums. One, and she averages like 3 or 4 hits per album.
Who doesn't? The top 15 people.
Who does it? There's a lot of people that don't have 3 or 4 hits on their
Okay,
album.
well, I said the top 15 people, they're gonna have 2 or 3 hits.
Name
on the
them.
album. Drake.
That's not. Drake is on the category of his own.
He's on the category of his own, right?
Of his own.
Beyonce.
That's 2 out of 15. Continue. Because once we get to
Hold
like
on.
10 to
Don't-
15, it's gonna be like.
Don't
what?
disrespect the queen.
I did it. I said continue.
You said Drake was on this category of his own. Beyonce's not?
I didn't say that. I just said continue.
I'm asking.
I'm waiting for you to get to 10.
But I'm
Because
asking.
that's when
is
it's gonna be like,
Beyonce
what are you
on-
talking about?
Is Beyonce in a category of her own?
Yes,
Yes.
she's in the category of his own. Now,
Is Rihanna in a category of her own?
continue between the list.
Yes or no? I'll go with the list if you say that.
15, okay, out of all the musicians in the world, the top 15 are all going to be in categories of their own.
No.
Are you kidding me? Who's not? I need you to get through your list before we say it. Because I can't even say nothing. I haven't heard the list.
I don't know the list, man. Just remember the top 15 is. I just know Beyonce, her past albums, every song on it is a hit. Every song.
I'm not gonna disagree. I mean,
There's
that
still
proves all
like,
of our points.
But Rihanna, I can't do that.
right, Rihanna, you can't do what?
I can't just let a CD play.
I don't think that's true.
That's not, first of all, that's not true. And on a Beyonce album, no, you can't let every Beyonce song play.
I can.
That's you.
I
I for sure can't. And I think you'd have to be a diehard Beyonce fan to listen to her entire album, to be honest with you.
I'm gonna say something really controversial. People go hard over Lemonade. I can't listen to it from first to last.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I gotta skip around some albums I gotta skip around.
No, I don't.
And it's not because the songs are bad, it's just I feel like her hits mask her album cuts so much
God.
that it's like, I'd rather hear this.
That's.
But that's not all her albums.
Name an album that was better than 24 Karat Gold. 24 Karat Magic, sorry.
24 Karat Man.
Because that's an album you can listen to from 1 to whatever.
That's an unskippable album.
See, that to me, that's what I say. Not many artists have those type of albums.
Right. I think like if anybody were to ask me, give me an album where I won't skip a song, it would be Bruno's
Yeah.
Carrot Magic. Like that, you can't skip those songs. Though.
Even Drake's album, right? The new one, Scorpion, the one that just came out, the double-sided one. I can't listen to that from beginning to end.
Yeah.
As great as that album is, as much as I like that album, I can't listen to it from first to end. I skip around. I listen to majority of it, but I still skip around. And it's not because the songs are bad. It's just like that was good for maybe 1 to 5 listens, and I'd rather just go to my favorites now. You know, I felt the same way with More Life. It's just and Drake, I said again, is in a class of his own. But then again, I don't listen to certain albums from beginning to end.
It's true.
You know what I mean?
I was the same for her. I listened to her album first song to last. But then it's like after a while, I had like a skip or two. But I still listen to most of it, honestly.
I'm not saying this because of all the attention that he's getting, but Victory Lap has no skips. Nipsey's album. When I tell you, every song has great production on there. His lyrics on that are so real. That song to me, right with Meek's Champions, albums of the year.
I'm very biased when it comes with Nipsey. It don't matter what he's talking on. I listen. Don't matter because of what he stood for.
For what he talked about.
That's like me with Aaliyah. It's like if you're a diehard fan, you ain't gonna skip nothing.
See, Meek's album was dope.
And he was talking some stuff on it.
It's not even touching Nipsey's.
Nah, I disagree with you. I highly disagree with you. Meek Mill's album is definitely up there with Nipsey's album.
Yeah, but it's Meek. See, I look at it different though. It's Meek in like an older song. Is he inspiring?
Absolutely.
Wait, who? Meek?
In his songs, the lyrics, yes.
I look for who inspires me, who inspires people to do things.
But that's not okay. That's good.
I feel like it wasn't even like that. I feel like he was informing also. Because he was giving a lot of facts in some of the songs. Like, it was very informative on stuff that he's been through or things that people go through constantly that get ignored. Like, I feel like it was definitely up there with Nipsey.
And if you're going on that angle, J. Cole is up there then. Because KOD was just as informative.
Nipsey meets 2 different levels, bro.
I highly disagree with you. I actually think Nipsey was right on the same wavelength. I actually felt like they was in the same lane.
No.
You got to tell me how.
Yeah, I need an explanation.
No. Just because, you're probably going off of commercially, whenever people...
No, I'm talking about what they mean to the community, one, how much of an activist they've been.
How much Meek Mill means to his community, the way he did.
I'm not comparing impact. I'm not comparing impact. I'm not saying one is greater than the other. What I'm saying is they're in the same lane.
No.
So you're saying they're not in the same lane, and they are in the same lane, but you're judging it as Nipsey's bigger.
Lane. Like they make music, they from the streets and make music.
No, that's the highway they're on. But the lane that they're in is. I'm talking about. I just said it. Meek Mill, just like Nipsey, means a lot to his community because of his activism, not just in the streets, but in his music. So now he's putting hood music, mixing it with activism, mixing it with melody, and he's presenting a well-bodied work. You don't see that often from mainstream artists. You see them giving you hard beats, maybe some substance, or you see them give you incredible substance but lackluster production. It's very rare that you get everything hitting everything. Like everything just checks off. You don't get that. And I feel like Meek's Champion album, The Victory Lap, and KOD, top 3 albums last year that checked off everything. But the difference is Cole is not in Nipsey's lane. He's not. There's certain things that Nipsey touch on that Cole won't, right? Like subject matter.
You know if I had to separate it, I would put Nipsey and Meek more in the. I'm not saying Cole isn't for the community. That's not what I'm saying. But I feel like he gives more word to the game. You know, people in the game and how it goes and.
More, it's universal knowledge.
Right, rather than just subjected to just the community. I feel like Meek and Nipsey were more on that end, right? But not saying that Cole isn't or he can't, because he definitely could and he definitely has. But, you know, if I had to weigh the two, I'm saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean...
They had the difference is they touch on, it's the subject matter. They touch on certain things that Cole couldn't. You know, like Meek and Nipsey can touch on their prison experiences, how they want to focus on prison reform. Cole could jump on that bandwagon, But Meek and Nipsey are at the forefront of that. Like, they're at the forefront of getting their community to wake up. Like, this is not what you need to do. This is what you need to do. And they're doing it on a sonic level that's higher than most.
Yeah.
That's what was separating Nipsey from a lot of rappers in the mainstream eyes this past year. Because sonically, his music was starting to match his persona. And I feel like for a long time, people were sleeping on his music. But you can't deny Victory Lap. Like, you couldn't deny that. The Grammys could not deny that quality. They could no longer deny that. So
the difference between Nipsey and everyone else is a consistent, and what he been talking about for years, consistently inspiring people. No one, I've never seen no one do it other than people inspire people. But he's been doing it out the gate before he was big. Like, I'm talking about for the last like 10, 15 years. But the only person I see doing that now on a consistent level is maybe like Jay. Like just dropping gems, dropping jewels, but not on Nipsey's level. I've never seen no one like that. That's when you say, I understand what you're saying, like they're in the same lane. But my it's like Nipsey's going way faster in that lane.
I see what you're saying. Do you consider Malcolm X and Martin Luther King?
Like this, there was no, Nip wanting to work with Meek. Meek always talking about working with Nip.
Nah, you bugging. Nip wanted to work with Meek. They were supposed to have a joint album coming out.
I think they got one.
Do you think Martin Luther? I didn't mean to cut you off much. Do you think Martin Luther King and Malcolm X are in the same lane as far as activism and being at the forefront, at the front line of the civil rights movement?
I mean, but you can't compare that because I don't look at me.
Before you say that, let me bring it full circle though.
I look at Nipsey like a MLK. I don't look at Meek like that.
But again, I'm not comparing the persona. I'm comparing. You just said he was doing it consistently for a longer period of time.
No,
so was
not
Martin.
Longer, but consistently.
You just said
every song he touched.
You said for a longer period of time from the gate when he first came out.
Every song he touched was inspirational. There's not one song you could pick where it's like lollipop, whatever, and it wasn't inspirational talk.
Okay, so my point is this: with Martin and Malcolm, Martin was doing that positivity before Malcolm was. Malcolm was a booster. He was a thug. He was in jail, and he was reformed when he was in jail, and then he started doing activism. But does that mean that they're not in the same lane because Martin was more positive for a longer period of time and for a more consistent time?
I didn't say there wasn't.
You just did though.
I didn't say Nip and whatchamacallit wasn't in the same lane. I just feel like,
fam, that was you just.
I know I said that before, but then I corrected myself. I said they are trying. He's trying to be in that lane with him, but Nipsey's just doing it way better. Okay,
so trying to be in the same lane and being in the same lane are two different things.
No, but
I'm saying they are in the same lane. He's not trying. I feel like he is in the same lane as Nipsey. I feel like Meek, despite it being the past 2 or 3 years maybe, I still feel like he stepped into Nipsey's lane of being an activist, and I think Nipsey might have inspired that. But I feel like he did step into Meek's lane. I think T.I. is in that same lane. I think there's David Banner's in that same lane. What separates Nipsey from all of them, despite being in the same lane, is Nipsey was in the hood consistently. That's the only thing that's different. Like, Nipsey was not afraid to rub shoulders with people that at one point in time was an enemy of him and his set. Like, he wasn't afraid to do those things. He wasn't afraid to come to New York and hit certain gambling spots that he shouldn't be in because he's from Crenshaw and he reps a certain color and a certain gang set. But he still did that. Like, that's what separated Nipsey, man. People just respected him, and he was just the people's champ. You know what I mean? But yeah.
I wanted to quickly do a little segue because we have Day joining us. He low-key joined us on
where's he at?
Google Hangout. He joined us a few minutes ago.
Oh, you been on this whole time?
I was listening. I didn't want to jump in the middle of y'all very.
Can't hear nothing.
Say that again. You sound a little low.
I said I didn't want to jump in the middle of your very heated debate.
No, that's cool. We were just talking about Nip and Meek and just
they were
different
saying
rappers.
that Meek Mill and Nipsey was in the same lane, and I was like,
Disagree.
there's two different, two different type of people.
You know, here's my take on that, and my take is going to be very different from, I guess, everybody else's. It is going to be very unfair to even compare. There's no need to compare Nip to Meek because the way they go about their business is very different.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like comparing the next civil rights activist after Martin Luther King to Martin Luther King. It's like, well, that's not fair. You know, they're in two very completely different lanes. And so I think, you know, what Nip did. He did it his way. He did it the way he felt was right. You know, he felt staying in the neighborhood was the right move, and others feel that leaving the neighborhood is the right move. But it doesn't mean either are really wrong. And I think comparing the two diminishes what the other one does, no matter what side you're on. Because if you're saying, well, Nip was in a better lane, he was doing things very different, it's like, well, Meek is doing different things too, you know, but he's just doing them differently. It doesn't take away from what he's doing, you know, but at the end of the day, they're both doing positive things for the community. You know, I think the message and the goal shouldn't be how can we alone continue Nip's legacy, you know, like what he did in his footsteps, because no one will ever be able to replicate that. Mm-hmm. But how in our own way can we embody the message that he brought, which was black empowerment and black excellence. No matter which way we sort of go about that, that should be the message. Not just how Nip did it. I'm not saying people should go stay in their neighborhood if they don't feel safe in them. But you can still leave your neighborhood and bring that to your neighborhood.
I agree and disagree at the same time. I agree that it is a bit unfair to compare, but I'm not necessarily comparing the two people. But you can absolutely approach things two different ways, but still have a common goal. And I feel like the lane represents the journey to the destination, right? So if Nipsey felt like he wanted to drive a Ferrari in that lane and Meek wanted to drive a horse and carriage, it doesn't change the fact that they was in the same lane going in the same direction, right? So I feel like, yeah, Nipsey approached it differently, but it still doesn't negate the fact that their goals are the same. They wanted to wake up the community and give back to the community, but they just approached it differently. But that doesn't change the fact that they was in the same lane with the same goal.
Well, this is why I say they're different. And this goes back, I guess, to maybe me picking at semantics, which is when you guys think of the terminology lane, a lane is singular. There's one lane. Mm-hmm. You understand? That means if two people are in the same lane, one person is ahead of the other person, or one person is behind the other person. I think what I'm saying is that it is diminishing to both to even have, I guess, that sort of back and forth, because they were doing the same thing. They were on the same highway in different lanes, but doing the same thing.
Well, bro, you know that.
Sorry. Okay. Like what I said, he kept saying they was in the same lane. I'm like, okay, you can theoretically say that, but Nip was going way faster.
I don't think speed is the even.
No, just to compare. Like, if you want to compare, I feel like there's no comparison. To a certain extent, theoretically, yes, but I feel like Nip did it and meant so much more.
Okay, let me put it like this. Nip did really good at gathering his community to be around him. Nip did an excellent job at that. He got his local community to rally around him, and for him to own those businesses.
Man, he got a lot of the world, man. I'm telling you, y'all just really started hearing him for Victory Lap. He's been selling out his store before Victory Lap.
Here's the thing. I don't even care about the music, because I'm gonna be honest, I didn't listen to Nip's music like that. I probably liked one or two songs, so I don't care about the music.
And another thing I pointed out is how Meek might say some things, but what I'm saying, since Nipsey started, he's been consistent with every song, every verse he's ever did is to inspire.
Agreed. And again, I don't think it comes down to the music. The music was just a means to a better end. They both used their talent as musicians to grow their status within the community to make a change. It doesn't matter how they did that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, they made music. It doesn't matter the substance. They were adding value to their community. Now where Nip did a very good job at bringing value to his community locally, and I say locally because let's be honest, before Nip had passed away, not everyone was talking about Victory Lap. We knew about Nip.
Nah, it just y'all wasn't.
But Nate, you have to understand, you a big fan.
Okay, but I know his fans, his community. Like that was the biggest talk. Like we've been waiting like for years for that album.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It's like the big fans and the community, they knew Nip. But I'm gonna tell you what Meek did really well. Meek had a chance to garner everyone around him. I'm not taking away anything from Nip because Nip did a great job. But both of these young black men took opportunities in their music to spread a larger message. When Meek was in jail, the gathering of people that came to his side, the way he exposed the prison system to the black community, to the white community, to just the nation at home. Like Meek was a headline. He was so much of a headline. He got unconventional players in his corner, like New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft. That don't happen to any ordinary dude. You know what I mean? That only happens to people who are out there actively trying to make change. But again, that don't take anything away from Nip because they're in two different lanes going at the same speed for the same goal.
And I feel like that's, sorry bro, I know you want to say something. But I feel like that's the most important part. I think a lot of people kind of start to miss the overall goal in all this. And I don't think anybody's intentionally ever going to try and pin them against each other because that's not going to get us to what the main focus is to help our communities and for a better tomorrow. But people always, somehow we always have this like human reaction to compare. And when really the two people or whoever you are accidentally comparing are headed for the same goal, no matter how they did it or the similarities on how they did it, their end goal is the same thing. You know, no, it's just because one person's doing it the same as someone else doesn't take away from the other person who did it first or who's more consistent or who's better at it. The end goal is all the same.
I think
and that's what we have to focus on.
I think that's my point. What Munch just said is, I hear what y'all saying, and I agree. Like I said, to a certain extent. But for one, I'm not really so much comparing, them, right? I'm comparing their intentions and what their goal is. And you can absolutely be in the same lane as somebody. And like you said, you brought up the example, right? Now, if I'm in a completely different lane, it can take me. If I'm on a highway and I'm in a different lane, it could take me off the highway, right? Mm-hmm. Like depending on what lane I'm in, it's gonna take me in a completely different direction. Why I say they're in the same lane is because they were going in the same direction. They just was approaching the journey differently. Like I said, Nipsey was more in a Ferrari, and Meek was more in a horse and carriage. But they both were in the same lane, going to the same goal.
I think saying one was in a horse and carriage and one was in another is like, it takes away from, again, what they were doing because a horse and carriage implies that one was going slower.
No. If you're looking at it that way, I'm just looking at different modes of transportation. I'm not even comparing speed, how fast the person is going to get there. I'm just saying they're traveling in two different vehicles, right? So the vehicle represents the approach. So the approach may look different, but the destination is the same.
Okay, so Ferrari versus a Honda.
Whatever. I mean, you can. Yeah.
I mean, I
make it easier for the whichever one.
Say it however you want to. I feel like if you're like trying to compare, I feel like it's disrespectful to Nip.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's not disrespectful.
It comes out disrespectful to everybody who you're comparing because they're both trying to have the same outcome. So what do you compare for? Is the thing. Like, there's no need to.
Exactly. There's no need to compare.
If they're all
That's
gonna
not really
try
what
and
this
get to
is.
the same thing, there's really no need to compare in the first place. It's just it comes off disrespectful altogether because it's like, okay, I'm sitting here trying to do best for my community and for my people, but now my people are comparing me to my brother, the person who I'm trying to hold hands with, and get to the goal at the same time. Like,
yeah, I don't even think Meek would find that disrespectful to say, yo, you and Nip's, you know, movement kind of is kind of identical. Y'all in the same lane. I see you moving. And I don't think Nip would feel any way either.
Yes,
no, he would not,
yes,
man. No, I don't think Nip would feel no type of way about him saying, yo, I see.
He's not gonna say nothing negative towards me, but he's gonna be like, we're not the same. We're not the same.
Nah.
I've been through different stuff than you. I done elevated different stuff than you. I done stuff in my community different from you. My music is different from you.
And yet their goal is the same.
Okay, their goal is the same, but that doesn't mean...
It means everything, actually.
It does.
Yes, it does. Because Malcolm X and Martin Luther King had two different approaches.
Their goal is the same. Okay.
But they was arm in arm with each other when it counted.
So why should it matter?
Let's not do
My thing is, you're saying the goal is the same. The goal is the same. True.
But listen,
we're done with that.
So what are we talking about?
Because we started going into talk of, because the way you're talking is like you're comparing them.
No, I'm just saying they're going in the same direction and they're in the same lane. That's all I'm saying.
So there is no need to compare.
Yeah, there is no need to say one is better than the other. They're in the same lane.
If
you
one
can
is a
champion
poor boy
both.
and one is Richie Rich, and they're still trying to get to the
they're
same
in the
thing,
same lane. But technically, I think Nip. I feel like he built his own lane. That's just me.
So what do you think Nick did?
I think anybody could say that. Most people
hopped on board.
He hopped on board.
And that's disrespectful though.
Yeah,
and that's comparing.
That is
because no one is better than the other. Because they both going in the same direction.
Nip was definitely better.
There's the comparison. And that's what I was trying to avoid.
I didn't bring it there.
No, I'm trying to avoid that. I don't want to compare the two. They both great on their own right, but they're going in the same direction.
I know, I'm not saying Meek can't do this. Nip has done more for the community. Nip has inspired more to do better than Meek.
Are you a big enough fan to stay in that in tune to say that?
Staying that in tune?
With what Meek is doing. You saying he did more than Meek. Do you know everything that Meek is doing in the community to say that? I just
said I don't know everything he's doing.
So you can't make that statement.
As far as I know from what I'm hearing in the news and the media, no one's doing it. No one did it like Nip.
First of all, the media is a centralized culture where they exaggerate what's going on. So I don't want to sit here and say one is doing more than the other, because that I feel is disrespectful to the movement. I would like to just say I like the fact that Meek has moved over to the lane that Nipsey was in, because before he was in a completely different lane, and I feel like he said, you know what, this matters more to me. So he moved to Nip's lane that Nip was in and was like, this is more important to me right now in the stage of my career. I'm going to stay in this lane. Unfortunately, Nipsey was taken out of that lane, but we still have other brothers that are in that lane. They just approach it differently, and we got to champion those brothers. That's what I was saying earlier in the podcast. We got to champion the brothers that are in that lane that we don't even know. They not celebrities. Not everybody's celebrities that's in that lane, and we got to just pay attention because that lane is there, and there's other people in there. That's all I'm saying. No comparison.
There's people who aren't celebrities who are doing the same thing, but they're not going to get the recognition.
Of course not.
Not even half of it.
Of course not.
But at the end of the day, guess what? It's the same outcome that they're trying to get to.
Same direction, man.
And they're not going to be upset because, oh, Meek getting more time than me on the screen. That's crazy. Yeah. It's like, no, we got to where we wanted to be for the right reason.
It's love. It's love.
You have to, that's why people's intentions are so necessary to know. Like I was talking about at his memorial with them selling stuff with his face on it and all that stuff. Like, you don't know people's intentions.
Right.
So people's intentions is a really heavy topic that you need to like consider, because that's where it all comes from. Like, Nip didn't do this because his mother was like, this is what I want you to do in your life. He did it because that was in his heart. Mm-hmm. He wanted to do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yo, what you think about that?
Facts.
I want to get you in here. What you think about that?
What about
the Meek and Nipsey being in the same lane, as far as their movement?
Kind of hard for me to say because I really don't follow these guys.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, it's kind of hard, but I heard that, you know, Nipsey, he was doing things for the community or whatever.
Yeah.
And I know that Meek, after his whole situation when, you know, they violated his parole, he got on that tip about, you know, reform with the jail system and whatnot. So I think I could get more into, you know, your opinion so far as you saying that, you know, they was like pretty much in the same lane or whatever. I think I could go with that.
Okay. Either way, I feel like either way, there's no loser in that situation. We only benefit from it, so
It's an overall win for everybody.
it's an overall win, man. Universal win for everybody. What else we got on the docket, man? I mean, we talked about Tiger, we talked about Magic, we touched on Nip. We gave some updates on what's going on with that.
I wanted to get DAQUAN's input because I know he about go back to Gambino for a second.
Okay.
I wanted to get his input on what he thought about it.
The movie?
Okay. And like how they played it out or whatever.
Wait, sidebar. Did the album come out yet? Or is it coming out?
It's coming out.
Okay.
I believe.
Gotcha.
Which movie?
Guava Island, the one that they did at Coachella, and it was only on like for 18 hours or something.
Oh yeah. You know, it was an interesting movie to watch. I think in bits and pieces, the movie can be sometimes falling flat on itself. But I think as a whole, when I took the time to sort of step back and really listen or really like watch the movie and think about it, the movie in itself is really, really impressive, really strong. The themes that it sort of stands for, sort of where we are in the community right now. I also think that the cinematography was absolutely beautiful, especially towards the end. When we start getting into the blue lighting and everything during the chase scene, it's like that whole thing was beautifully done. Also shot on film, so it had that rough, gritty sort of texture that goes for it. And you know, I thought the movie was good. I thought, look, Hiro Murai, who is the director for most of the Atlanta episodes, directed this. And him and Donald Glover have been friends ever since Donald Glover first started rapping, and he was directing Donald Glover's music videos. So their collaboration just within the industry is tight and really uncomparable on many levels. Good movie. If you haven't watched it, it's only an hour. Who doesn't have an hour to kill?
No, I feel you. I was legit upset. Like, I had a whole attitude when it ended. I mean, I know, like, you know, couldn't be happy ever after, whatever. But I'm just saying, I was upset.
I'm gonna watch it.
Rihanna's looking good in there.
She is. Oh, that is one of the like, I have my complaints with the movie, and I still sit by the fact that Rihanna cannot act.
They wanted it bigger.
Yeah, we was talking about that. We was saying how, you know, her acting hasn't really developed much.
She don't need to act.
Yeah, she's
She
not
really
a good
doesn't
actress.
She doesn't need to act.
But
She's
she
a
wants
big
to.
name. She brings people, and nobody really cares what she's saying. Just use her accent and.
Or are you talking?
No, but here's the thing. She's trying to break into acting.
Yeah, I think
It's not that she can't act and that she shouldn't or that she doesn't need to, but she's trying to break into it. So if she's trying to break into it and if she's not good, that's a problem.
What was your grade on her in that movie?
My grade? Oh, it was. I would say I'd probably give her
1 to 10.
like a 5.
That's horrible.
Out of 10. Gee.
Out
That's
of
horrible.
10.
Crazy thing is, I give her a 4.
Oh,
I
man.
give her a 3 just off of looks.
Off of looks. Out of 10.
You are wild disrespectful.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, we holding auditions for a new host for Talk Cafe.
Oh,
That was
Yeah,
disrespect
look.
Rihanna. A 3 out of 10?
but you said she was looking good. I'm confused.
She's looking better now that she got bigger,
I give her
like thicker.
3 to 4 because of looks.
That's nuts, because she definitely is better now than ever before.
I'm not even going off of looks. I'm just going off of acting ability, and yeah, it's a 5.
Yeah.
That's it. It was a little off.
I thought she was pregnant at one point.
She might have been.
I mean,
She might have been.
technically in the movie she was pregnant. Ooh, spoiler.
Oh, bro, you're
I'm
Yo,
sorry.
let me tell you, this is why I
forgot
gotta.
he didn't see it.
This is why I gotta watch movies before the people in my life, because it seems like I have people in my life that only want to spoil movies for
I
me.
legit forgot he said he didn't see it, and like I got excited.
It happens too often.
I'm sorry. It's really not like a huge movie.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
So you're not.
Well, now I'm gonna know throughout the entire movie. If she's not pregnant, then I still got some time for the movie because she's gonna get pregnant at some point. Yeah. Nah, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It was a surprise.
The baby has a line too.
Huh? The baby has
Baby
a line?
has like one line.
Oh, it does? Like a coo sound?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Also,
So she gets so the movie gets a what out of 10? Because we graded the actors, but
Oh, overall, I think
Yeah.
I'd give it like a 7.5.
now, what would you get rate Donald Glover, his performance?
Oh, his performance always like to me.
it's always A1.
Yeah.
Always. I love him.
I give him a 10.
Love his music, everything.
Facts.
I give him a 10.
His performances
Yeah,
are great.
Donald
Just the
Glover's
fact that
dope.
he's singing and doing those crazy dancing, those faces.
Wow.
Those faces is crazy.
Pause.
It reminds me of myself when I was a youngin'.
Hey. Yo, when you don't know what to say, people, just nod your head, man. It saves you. It gets you out of the trouble. I
Don't
promise.
respond back. He'll be
Just don't
quiet.
respond.
He'll be quiet one day.
Nah, but I agree with you though.
This is one of those faces he made. This is America.
Nah, but honestly though, he's become a trendsetter with the dance moves though.
I think he's just
Like, people-
carefree, so that's why he does it.
Yo, people love the dance moves. I don't like it, but
I mean, I won't
It's entertaining.
personally do
Like
so.
it's
Yeah, it's
entertaining, but
entertaining.
it gets a little like.
yo, I think a lot of dances nowadays is a little. Remember the nene? If you was to do that when you was a kid, you'd be looked at crazy on the block. In our generation.
You look that crazy now.
Nah, not really. They accept the nene.
I mean, we've done a lot of weird dances though. Like now, if you look
Like
back,
what? Chicken noodle soup was one.
yeah,
That was nuts.
we thought
Harlem
that was
Shake
the
is
hottest thing.
Harlem Shake is
legendary.
nasty, but it looks nasty, crazy, but
But people still do it today.
it's a fire dance. It's
Yeah,
a-
everybody
I know,
still
boy,
do
you
it.
gotta know how to make the thing shimmy, boy.
do it
What
with
about
shoulders.
what about the Popeye?
But you like radio. It's like Cuban Gooding Jr.
Well, I used to be a fool back in the day.
Huh?
I used to be a fool.
Yeah, that's
What about the Popeye?
The what?
Who?
Popeyes.
He said Popeyes.
Popeyes.
I think that's before our
Is that
generation.
what you said? The Popeyes?
Hold on, I got a YouTube. The Popeye.
The Popeye.
The Popeye.
That's a dance?
I thought
Popeye.
you-
Y'all know what the Popeye is? What's the Popeye?
I thought you were gonna say Pop Lock and Drop It.
Who popped their eyes? What's going on?
I've never.
The Popeyes? Somebody comment down below. about
I
the
be
Popeyes.
Millie rocking every chance I get. So
You be doing the Popeye every chance you get?
I said I be Millie rocking every chance I got.
Millie Rock.
Millie Rock. Millie Rock was explosive when that came out. Like people.
I can't find the Popeye
Going
dance. Can you do the Popeye?
I never heard of that.
I never heard of it.
The Popeye.
I've never heard of it.
Somebody please find
What was
that.
some other crazy dances? The stanky leg, bro. Why would
Stinky
why?
Leg was nasty.
Why would
Stanky
people?
leg,
that
do
even
the
a
stanky leg.
What was the most fun? What was the most fun dance move to do?
When everybody was trying to do
The funky chicken.
the Favo joint, the lean with it, rock with it, but the Favo joint when he go all the way back. Pah!
That was
Laffy
fire
Taffy.
too.
Laffy
Yeah,
Taffy.
that was fire too.
Candy girl.
People still do that. They take that and they incorporate it.
goddamn right.
In the woe
Yeah.
dance. They throw it up. They still incorporate
Let
that
that
dance.
song,
That's
let
legendary.
that song hit anywhere.
That's legendary.
I don't care what I'm wearing, who I'm with, I'm sweating.
You're not gonna act like the Soulja Boy dance wasn't like one of the biggest dances at the time.
What?
Yeah, but
Soldier Boy.
Oh, you? The Superman? Yeah.
That's fun as stuff.
So I'm trying to understand. Y'all don't know the Popeye. You want to tell me you don't know the WAP either?
I know the WAP. I know the WAP. I know the
the
WAP. I know the
What's
WAP.
that? The joint like that?
Yeah, the WAP. I know the WAP.
Is that the same thing?
That it's the
No.
same. Yeah, I never heard
I
of
don't know
Popeye.
the Popeye. I never heard of that. I've
He's
never
keep
heard of
saying
that.
Popeye.
I'm really,
Is that what
really,
it's called?
really.
I think that's what it is. The
Popeye?
The
I'm very
Popeye.
diverse.
Like
That's
Popeye,
what it's called. Oh,
ate.
the Popeye.
Yes.
Like, is it spelled like
Yeah, you
Popeye
got-
chicken?
You can ask your pops about it.
They're not in their heads, but they're not. Is it spelled like Popeye chicken? Like Popeye? Like, is it except 2 words or 1 word?
Yeah, we gonna find that dance.
Our millennials.
Find the
Word.
Popeye dance.
This is we're definitely connecting 2 generations, people. Let's see.
I went on
I got
YouTube.
somebody doing it. Who is it?
It's a girl. I
a girl.
looked at that too. I don't know if that's it.
Hey, I don't know what she's doing. Come on,
She need to start
get it
that.
going. She look kind of young though.
I'm gonna show.
Something.
Is she doing it right?
Dance, good God.
That's the you can
Dance
dance
like that?
No, that's not the Popeye.
That's not the
No.
Popeye.
Oh,
Okay.
you can see us.
Yeah, I showed him right here.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta find that dance. Somewhere.
Look at her.
I mean, I hope
Look
that.
at
I see it.
She got no enthusiasm with it.
She just loves it.
Ah, she doing. I'll have to name of that. This is before YouTube, definitely. Tell you that now.
Or she has
It's
just,
not on YouTube.
or she
people.
just has an Android. Maybe either one.
Wow.
Yeah, that's for sure Android, and that's S10 quality too.
Wow.
That's not even years ago. That's S10 quality.
This video was definitely 7 years ago. So
7 years ago.
anything goes at that point.
Oh, I'm hyped right now. I just went on YouTube and saw a scene from the new Godzilla movie.
Oh, we gotta watch that.
Oh, it's lit.
Go ahead, show us the Popeye dance. Show us a little version of it.
I mean, hey, I'm not against it.
Don't worry, people on the camera can't see you. Only we can see you. You ain't gotta get all into it. You just go real slow. Let us see what it is. We might know what it is. We just don't know the name.
What are some other
I feel like I
dances?
what, like good dances?
Wow,
Legendary ones?
that's disrespectful. What are you trying to say?
What about the Running Man?
There's bad ones. What do we rank?
No, I mean,
I give you
no,
bad
not
ones.
in rank. Just I'm just trying to think of like
Oh, some good.
of any ones that we used
The
to.
Running
The
Man
Running-
get me
yeah, I was about
tired.
to say.
I get tired and
The Running Man.
I'm too big for that now.
And the old, I felt the old school Running Man, not that new one.
What about the
That
moonwalk?
That new one was whack.
I ain't gonna hold you. I never seen nobody do no moonwalks and no movies and nothing like that other than Michael Jackson.
Nah, there's a lot of people that do the moonwalk.
Ooh.
There's people that can do it.
All right. When you watch music videos back in the 90s, you seen dances like the Running Man and stuff like that. And
Last time
everybody.
I seen that,
But who was doing the
Tory
moonwalk?
Lanez did it too. He got a nice little. He know how to do it real good.
Do what?
Moonwalk.
Pull up a video in the music video where he's doing the moonwalk.
Not in a music video.
That's what I'm saying. No entertainers use
Why it
that
has
move.
to be a music video though?
Because I'm saying that nobody uses that.
Popular dances. That
Yeah, like no one uses that in their form of entertainment. Like they don't use that in
You
their
just
music
asked
videos.
what dances. I was like, that wasn't a category. What the question wasn't what people used it in music videos. You were just talking about dances.
No, that was my point. I'm not talking about that. I was saying, I was asking who's used that move other than Michael Jackson.
not many.
Cause I mean,
It's
I
rough.
feel like that'd be.
I feel like that move is like the Kareem Skyhook. Like it's one of the greatest moves, but no one ever uses it.
Because it takes a lot of skill. I don't know. I legit.
That's
can't
true
do it.
though. And both of them actually do take skill.
And people couldn't do it properly.
That too. That's a fact. That's a fact. 'Cause
Like
I know
if I
I
do the
couldn't.
moonwalk, I know I'm butchering it. So like I'm confident and content with that. So
The only time I could do it is on socks on a wooden floor. I could
Facts.
never do it any other way.
like with like sneakers on concrete.
Nah,
I don't
never.
even know how people do
When
that.
I see people do that with sneakers and concrete, I was like, that's witchcraft.
Oh,
I
facts.
could never do that.
It's simple.
Nah.
Also,
It's all in the bop and the leg push.
So you're gonna demonstrate.
You gonna show us right now? You gonna show our podcast?
I mean,
viewers?
not right now.
Oh, I feel you.
This is not the time and the space
It's
for
not
it,
the
but
time.
I could
Gotcha.
definitely, I can do it.
Cool. I'm
I watched this YouTube video on exactly how to do it. It's not hard.
You picked it up fast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very simple. It's technique.
That's all it is.
I literally can't. What's some of the dances that you? Well, I'm gonna save some of your.
You know what I'd still do to this day? That just like sets the party off. Gotta hit that cabbage patch, baby.
I'm not mad at it.
You stomp your feet with it too?
Yeah, you
gotta add the little sauce.
And you gotta hit the shoulders.
Gotta hit it with the shoulders.
Then you gotta shake like something wrong with you. Just hit.
So basically, he's like, I just gotta act normal.
Basically,
go to the closet, act normal.
Just be yourself. People tell me, no, don't be yourself.
Yo, I feel like we missing something. We touched on a lot today. We touched on a whole lot, but I feel like we're still missing something.
Topic-wise, or are you talking about dances?
Topic-wise. Every time the podcast ends, we always say we didn't touch on that.
I know, right? I mean, I think I gotta organize my thoughts, so I write myself down.
Anybody got anything that they heard about during the week? Like,
I don't know. Well, I mean, today we found out. I always talk about movies, but like getting the new. We're getting a live action again from Disney, Lilo and Stitch.
Okay.
I wonder how that's gonna go.
I hope it goes.
Yep. We're getting a live action Lady and the Tramp.
Oh, are we?
Oh, they're just giving us anything now.
They just like. I mean, Disney's walling out with buying everybody, so they just going crazy. They literally don't care.
Disney making all the money. They really taking over the world.
No, Disney buying.
That's the plan.
It's wild.
What would Walt say if he was here today?
Walt, you think Walt is frozen?
Why are there black people in my movies?
You think that?
He'd be like, sold. He was a sell company. I built this from 100,000. Now it's what? Sold.
I would love to see Walt Disney in like a negotiation in this generation, like fresh out of the ice, because he probably throw a number like, nah, give me like $8 million.
You think that could be?
I don't know nothing.
Give me like $8 million.
You're gonna give me what? 10 million? Oh, sold. oh, what the?
Disney, the whole company sold for $10 million.
Where they make that type of money?
Do you think that conspiracy theory is true?
Wait, his head on ice?
Yeah, he's frozen.
Oh yeah, his head is somewhere on ice, for sure.
Does that really work?
I don't know.
What's the point? Why would you just want to be a head?
It's just like Futurama.
I think there is capsules. I mean, there's capsules where they rest them and they don't age them, and they keep their organs going. Or maybe, just like how Get Out, where they switch the brains. They might take the brain out, make sure that stays alive.
So the question is, who's Walt Disney right now?
And they wait for a certain time before they steal a little kid and put your brain in their head. Just like how McDonald's is doing with a lot of kids. I mean,
yeah, like on the
I
was with you 100% on the first part.
Just like how Jewish people steal kids every year.
Conversation's over. Just like that.
For sure, definitely don't believe that. For sure, don't believe that.
Oh yeah, there's a conspiracy that, and it's proven, but it's not legally proven, where they take kids and then chop them up and make them to McDonald's burgers.
Well, you just need like a little thing right here, right? Where it controls like everyone's mic volume, and we just can like press his.
Yeah, because we definitely for sure don't have like no type of views like that, anti-Semitic, anything like that, nothing like that.
Just trying to finish the season of Talk Cafe.
It was based off of a movie that he saw actually, but remember the movie you was telling me about? Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So Disney, who is he right now? Where's his mind at? Whose black body is he in?
He's in the underground city, frozen.
What if Disney is Obama?
It's not.
He's Obama.
What if he's Obama?
Obama don't have nothing on him.
That's his second.
Here's a good question: are you guys getting the new Disney streaming service?
Of course, that's gonna change the game.
Why you say that?
I didn't hear nothing you said.
The content that's gonna be on there.
The Disney streaming service.
I mean, look at everything. I feel like in the next 5 or 10 years, the content that's going to be on that Disney platform is going to be more valuable than what's on Netflix. I feel like they're going to put out more original content like Netflix is, and I think they're going to do it on a grander level.
I mean, if you think about it, the most classic stuff that people look for is with Disney.
And plus, I think Disney going to open up that checkbook for all original content. I think they're going to really open up that checkbook for real.
I feel like Disney, Apple, and Microsoft are going to be like the big three.
I feel like they are right now.
And the opportunity
I think so.
now for creators is crazy. All these platforms is opening up.
Yep.
Creativity is kind of like what people need nowadays.
What you think, bro?
Well, I mean, I have a very, I guess, different view on Disney's streaming service because I know how much money they are in debt and why they need it. You know, so.
Well, they got in debt.
So it's one of those things where I'm looking at it from a business person's perspective rather than just a perspective of, oh, this is content. You know what I mean? I'm looking at it from, oh, you got a company that's almost $140 billion in debt and needs to somehow make money. So they're going to do a streaming service that appeals to everybody. I mean, who wouldn't want a streaming service that has 19 Pixar movies, that has all the Avengers movies, that has everything? I think everybody's going to get it. And if you have kids, you will definitely get it.
This is a content-driven society that we're in right now, and as far as content goes, Disney has the best original catalog right now.
Yeah, they're gonna have all of the Simpsons episode because they bought Fox. So that's like 600. That's like 600 episodes plus.
And that's Family Guy. It's like it extends to so many things, bro. Like their content game is gonna be nuts. I'm for sure gonna get it.
Yeah.
It's really wild.
So do we cancel our Netflix, or do we still keep it?
Well, Netflix.
No. You keep Netflix because here's the thing. Even Disney itself isn't gonna stop putting stuff on Netflix because Disney makes millions of dollars licensing things out to other companies. So it doesn't make any sense for us to cancel it because trust me, Disney is gonna continue making money on it. If y'all want a competitive sort of like market for streaming services, continue like investing in streaming services like Netflix and like maybe some of the niche ones like Shudder, which is an all horror streaming service, or Criterion, which is really catered towards the film auteurs and really like, I'm not gonna say high class like films, but they really do a lot of film restoration. So it's like invest in those, and it'll challenge Disney to be better.
One last thing before I go, right? What do you think about that Kevin Hart special?
I ain't watch it.
I thought it was really funny. I mean, I think Kevin Hart still has it. I don't think he's lost it. His brand is as big as ever. It's really unstoppable. And now that he has his YouTube channel, it's gotten even crazier. But the stand-up special, it's a Kevin Hart stand-up special. Maybe not his best one. I think I'm a Grown Little Man is probably still
like
the best one.
I feel like his special was funny. I just don't like that funny. He chose that in London to do it with that crowd.
Well, that's just you have to say that's just where he taped it. He toured all over the world, and he just decided to tape that performance in London, which was probably like one of the last legs he did. But he did that exact same show in the States. You know what I mean? He performed that same exact routine like hundreds of times, probably.
Like I feel like the people in the crowd was laughing, but it wasn't like laughing. It was giggling.
It'd be like that. It'd definitely be like that.
So I think we touched on everything this week. I don't think we really left anything unturned. So I think we should leave it there.
We should leave it here instead of.
Yeah, let's leave it there. I just want to say one thing. I know I came late. I apologize to the fans.
Don't forget.
But it's NBA playoff season, and the Nets are in the playoffs, and we're doing well. So support.
Congrats to Brooklyn. I ain't hating.
Congrats to D'Angelo Russell the Great.
I'm not here to talk smack, even though I can.
He's itching. I know he's itching.
We're off to a good start.
Undefeated in the playoffs.
Undefeated in the playoffs so far.
Jeez, man.
Well,
anyway,
this was a good episode 5.
It was. I think
Moderator, take us out.
I think we touched on some good things. Everybody had their input it got kind of heated at one point. But it's all Gucci.
And the words for Nip's Hustle, I ain't nothing like you can grab niggas.
Yeah. And yeah, my.
Oh, I thought you was gonna say something.
No, I was saying yeah to what he said. Yeah.
All right, so we off this. Come back next Sunday, 5 o'clock.
See y'all then.
R.P. Nip.
Always. Marathon continues.